we're going to take an apple and a pair of scissors, and what we're going to create is this. So we've got a border going around the page with a drop shadow. We've cut away some of the picture. We have made the scissors transparent. We've eliminated some of the blade to give it the effect that it's actually slicing through the apple, and we've put in a juicy little water drop. It looks tasty. So this is the first part. Pull up scissors. I've actually got this one for you. Background. Okay, on the background we're going to put another layer in, and then we're going to make it transparent. So let me pull up the one that you'll be working with. There's scissors. Come on, up you come. Are we open? Being very difficult. There we go. Okay, so this is the one that you've got. Now, right now, put you away. Right now, what we need to do is eliminate the background. Okay, so I am going to duplicate this, and I'm sure you'll all run off and do Control J. Watch what happens. Control J. Now look at the background, and there's a lock on it. Then layer 1 is also locked. So I'm going to delete that one, and I'm going to go up to Layer, Duplicate Layer. I'm going to call it Scissors. Okay, and now you see this one is not locked. So I think that's what we should do. You could use all these lasso. You could use the polygonal lasso tool because there's lots of nice straight edges, but I think you'd have trouble going around this area around here. That's not, you see, it's kind of blurry. Similarly down here you've got a shadow coming in. I think you would lose it. So what I'm going to do is suggest that you use the magic wand tool. Don't have all layers checked, and I'm going to have the tolerance at about 20, and it's going to be new selection only. So what you'll do is click on the background. There we've got part of it. Hold the shift key and click inside. Oh, that looks better. What have I missed? I'm still holding shift down again, and this one, yep, and I'm going to leave that because we can use the eraser, but I'm pretty happy with that. We managed to get most of it, and when we come to paste it in, we'll just use the eraser tool to get rid of a little bit here. Let's try select feather. I'm going to make it 1, and let's see if that gets rid of these tinkly bits. No, it didn't. Okay, that will do us nicely though. Okay, so what we've got then, I've got everything except the pair of scissors selected, so just hit that delete key and it goes. And let me see. Ooh, look at this. Can I delete that out too? There we go. I forgot that bit. So when you make the background invisible, then you can see what you're doing. And if at this point you want, I'm going to deselect, you can go in with the eraser right now. Okay, I've got a small brush, and start moving out some of these, but I'm going to wait because we can do it easily next time. So save this as a JPEG. No, not as a JPEG, as a PSD file. If you save as a JPEG, you flatten it. As soon as it's flattened, you will insert a white background that you've just worked so hard to get rid of. So File, Save As, Photoshop, PSD, Scissors, and I've called mine Scissors Finished. I'm going to cancel, but make sure that it's a Photoshop file, PSD. Alrighty, let me put this away. No. And this is my one that I prepared earlier. There's the guy. Okay. So that is part 1, making your scissors transparent. Alright, now part 2 is getting the scissors, have I got them here, into, there we go, into the apple to give it a nice ripped up effect. What we'll do first of all is duplicate the layer, resize it so that it's slightly smaller, fill the background layer with white, and then we're going to put a border around. So hold tight. Right, I'm going to duplicate the layer the way I did before. Layer, duplicate layer, apple. There we have it. You see it's not locked. So right now I'm not sure why they're coming in locked, but this gets around it. Okay, I will expand this a little bit. Okay, dookie. Oh, no, I'm going to delete that. Exit, 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 exit. Sorry, folks. I need to put the border on. Select all on the background. Select all. Okay, edit, stroke. I'm going to have 7 black. If you don't want black, have another color. Inside, okay. Control D to deselect. Now I'm going to go layer, duplicate layer, apple. We have 2 unlocked, good to go. Edit, free transform or Control T, and then you get your bounding box. Hold the Shift key to maintain the perspective, and I'm going to reduce the size a little bit and move into place. And all I'm going to do is fill this area with white. Double click to embed. And I'm going to get my move tool. Actually, if you hit the space bar, you get the move tool coming up. Alright. Now, back you go to background layer. Otherwise, Apple will disappear. So, go up to Edit Fill. There we are. And then pull down Contents. It will default to foreground color, but pull down to white. And then OK. And that's a quick way to give yourself a white background. Back on Apple. Now we're going to cut it in half to give us this effect. We're going to distort this and nudge it up. So get the rectangular marquee tool. I have got 0 feather picks. Okay. Control spacebar to zoom in. There you go. I'm holding it down. I'm holding it with my left hand, Control spacebar. That means right hand. I can zoom in. I can zoom out. Ooh. Move this out the way, and I'll zoom over a tad. I need to go out a little bit more. Okay. Perfect. I've got my marquee, and I'm going to cut from roughly here, and I'm actually right, you see where my cursor is? Right up at the top there. I'm including the border. I'm going to go down, remember where I want my scissors to come in, and over outside. Okay, now I'm going to use the arrow keys to just nudge for perfection. I moved the right. I don't need to use the upward arrow key at this point. It's all good to go. Now we're going to transform it. Control T to transform. We have the bounding box. But right click, distort. See, I'm actually inside the bounding box itself. I get the fly out menu, distort. And then I'm going to lift the bottom right corner up. There we go. So it's going to give an effect of having been sliced. Looks like it's been ripped. Okie dokie. So then I'm going to double click to embed it. Ooh, double click. There we are. And then Control D to deselect. And now we're going to put a drop shadow on that layer. So we come down to the blending modes, add layer style, and we want drop shadow. And I'm going to put, now you don't have to follow mine exactly, really, when you're happy. That, there we go. What do you think? I'm happy with that. What about the spread? See what that does. Now I'm going to move it back down to, what was it, about 2? I put... You know this? I shouldn't have I'm going to cancel this. Let me undo. Okay, I needed to keep this selected. Wouldn't you think? Let's try again. Drop shadow. So it only goes... Let me uncheck global light. Is that it now? Can't quite see. Pull it out a bit. Okay. That's working. It's affecting both of them. I'm alright with that. And then OK. So I've got a drop shadow. Control D to deselect. There we have it. Now what I'm going to do is pull up my scissors. Okay, and I'm going to drag and drop. It really is transparent. Now what you can do is you could get the move tool and you could drag and drop, or alternatively go to the transparent copy, the words itself, drag it, and then you see a little rectangle coming over with clenched fists around it. Let go. Huge. Control T to transform that. Hold the shift and then resize. There. Now then, I'm going to move these. What I'm trying to do, and it could take me a little while, is I'm trying to get the effect of the blade having ripped the paper. Okay. Then move this up a bit. And again it goes in. Use everything. If you've got distort, skew, play around with them to pull them into shape. Whatever works. Move you in. Alright, that looks about it. That's me. I'm looking at this bit here. Alright, double click. So far so good. Now I'm going to see, I've got this little bit here. I need to go in with my eraser now and what's it, control space bar, zoom on the area. Oh, where'd you go? Oh my gosh, how big is this? 200%. Okay, try again. Eraser, and just erase out some of that. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to erase, get a bigger eraser tool for this one. Here. Okay. Take more time with this because we'll go back later and fix that one up. Round here we go. Get rid of all of this. Zoom in. Okay. Erase out. Remember, you could have put a layer. The left hand square brackets gives you a smaller brush. There we go. You could have put a new layer on this and then used that as your insurance policy, and I'm sure some of you will. Okay, up we go. Let me zoom out. Minus. There we are. Okie-dokie. Now let's have Apple back. Right. So far so good. And now the last bit of the eraser, I'm going to erase the blade. Let me give you an example here. There's the blade. It's going to look as if it's actually inside the rip. And this is what we do. So you get your, let me zoom in. What was it? Alt space bar, zoom. There we go. Now get your eraser tool, and this right hand square bracket increases the size of it, so I'm going to go zip. But as I get up towards the paper slash, I want it to have a hard edge, like a blade had ripped through it. So hold the shift key and then just draw a line. You get a perfect. No, you don't. Control Z. What happened? press the shift. At this point I should have a hard edge. Let me pause and I'll go find the hard edge. I figured it out. The eraser needs to be one of these circles. It can't be a fuzzy eraser. So I chose one of these, hard edge. So there we go. And then hold the shift key and draw your line. There we go. And then I went over it too much, so I'm going to have to move there, and I'm going to move this right in. There we go. Minus, minus. That's looking good. Yay, that's a nice effect. Okay, the last thing to do is a little, here it is, a little juicy drop. So I'll zoom in a little bit and get the elliptical marquee tool. Okay, draw your circle. Alrighty, and then I am sorry, Control D to deselect. It has to be on Apple. Get the marquee tool, draw your circle. Okay. Now while this is selected, Control J to duplicate it, and it takes the bit of the apple with it into the new into layer 1. So let's go into layer 1. Double click on drop shadow because that came from, let me pull this up, that came from Apple. So double click on drop shadow. Alright, we want to remove it. Click, away it goes. And what we want instead of that is a bevel and emboss, and there you can see it's starting to take shape. So you click on the word bevel and emboss to get all of the options. And then we want bevel, inner bevel, size. Let's try 43. Yep, I'm happy with 43. Shade. Don't use global light in these, or else what you're doing will apply to the whole picture, and we don't want that. The drop is separate. An angle, let's pull the angle round. Now bearing in mind that the light is coming from, you know, left to right. Let's see what works here. Okay, and really there's no right or wrong, but just try and get a nice angle going. And then I'm going to go for inner shadow as well. Click on that. There we go, there's my inner shadow. And no global light, thank you very much. I'm going to tone down the opacity a little bit, get it so you can look through it. And let's see what this works out at. Ooh, round about there. Let's try a 50. Okay, opacity, I'll put it up a little bit. What about size is maybe 12. Distance, I'll pull that up a little tad. There we go. No, I'm sorry, choke 14 or so. There we go, distance, up you come. I'm just watching it. There we go. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm okay. Right. Now right now all it is a circle. So we want to distort it. This below the eraser is the smudge tool. Get your smudge tool going. It's that one. Yeah, that looks okay. And then just drag it up so that it looks, try and give it a water droplet effect. Okay, I'm going to, there we are. Oh, I'm salivating. So that is what you save as a JPEG. Only one of these to do.